Hey y'all, welcome to Peyton Energetics. I'm Peyton, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about one of those things that a lot of starseeds struggle with, and that is family dynamics. So one of the things that is almost a hallmark sign of the starseed is when people have had very, very challenging family dynamics, especially in childhood. This is something that is widely reported by starseeds and something that, after having worked for years coaching and teaching starseeds, I see in a huge percentage of my clients. So difficult family life is something that is notorious in the starseed community. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at why that is and what you can do about it. Now, it's very common for starseeds to share certain general traits, and unfortunately, one of those common grounds that we see in so many starseeds is a very rough childhood. And so I asked the Pleiadians to weigh in on this, to tell us a little bit about why this happens so often and what starseeds can do about it. And if y'all have seen any of my videos, you know that I'm a Pleiadian channel. So I ask the Pleiadians' opinions of pretty much everything. So today I'm going to share with you what they had to say about this unfortunate trend amongst starseeds and what the deeper reasoning is for it. Because as we know, as empowered starseeds, we are the creators of our entire reality. So I asked the guides to weigh in on this issue. And what the guides had to say about this trend that we see so unfortunately often in the starseed community of a very difficult childhood. And so the guides weighed in and explained a little bit about why this seems to happen to so many starseeds. And according to the guides, one of the reasons for this is that as a soul, so before many starseeds incarnated, they specifically chose to have a very challenging family. And according to the guides, one of the reasons for this and why so many starseeds set it up this way is to help the starseed understand the suffering of humanity. So if the starseed was to come into a family that was all love and positivity and encouragement, the starseed wouldn't be getting the best snapshot of what humanity was really like, of the darkness that the starseed is here to transmute. So in order to give ourselves as starseeds the full human experience, a lot of starseeds chose at the soul level to set their family life up to be a little bumpy. And again, this could range from just feeling like you didn't quite fit into your family to really extreme situations of a variety of forms of abuse are unfortunately very common in the starseed community. And according to the guides, one of the reasons that a soul might have chosen that was to understand the suffering of the humans that the starseed was coming here to serve. Because, of course, as starseeds, we are here to help humanity through the ascension process. And we do that by helping the human collective transmute its density. So what better way to do that than to dive into that density in the most personal way possible in our very family experience? So according to the guides, this is one reason that a soul might have chosen this, because it can make us wonder. We know that we are the creators, and we have to ask, why would I have created that? And according to the guides, there are some very definite reasons why a soul would choose to have a very challenging experience. And one of the reasons, especially for starseeds, was to help us relate to the density we were coming into the Earth game to help transmute. So that is one thing that can be going on that can contribute to the fact that we see so many starseeds sharing this experience. Now, on the less extreme end of this conversation, another way that this difficulty with family relationships and relationships in general can show up for starseeds is that so many starseeds feel like the black sheep in their life. Like they have never fit in with their family, their friend group, their community. So it is something that is super common among starseeds is to report feeling like a bit of an outsider in pretty much every area of their life. And the guides say there's a reason for this too. So when I ask the guides, why do so many starseeds report that they just feel isolated? Like they feel like they can't connect with other humans, like they are little aliens dropped here on the planet. And well, we kind of are. But according to the guides, one of the reasons why so many starseeds feel this way and kind of report that feeling of being the black sheep or not fitting in is because of the starseed's vibration. Now, you know, because we have talked in so many of these videos that starseeds have a very unique energy. We hold a lot of galactic energy, much more than the average human. And because of that, a starseed's vibration, the way we feel energetically, is very different than the average human. And one of the side effects of this very unusual energy that starseeds carry is that other people, your average human, if you will, can feel that there's something different about starseeds. And of course, this is all done at the unconscious level, but people can sense when they're around a foreign energy, an energy that is not the typical person. And so because of that, the average human doesn't always know how to relate to starseeds. They can find them a little confusing, like they can't quite wrap their minds around what this person is about because the energy of the starseed feels foreign, because it really is energy from another star system. And people can sense this. We know when we're around a different energy. And so people who are not starseeds, when they are around a starseed, can feel a little confused, like they're dealing with someone they've never quite met before. And so because of this vibrational difference, it can cause almost an energetic separation between the starseed and people of denser vibrations. So this can cause a sense of separation between starseeds and your average human because they're just on different radio stations. So this is something that people can kind of struggle to get a read on starseeds. They don't quite know what to make of you. And so this is one reason, according to the guides, that starseeds can report feeling a little isolated, a little like no matter how they try to fit in, they still don't. And it's, according to the guides, a big contributor to this is energetic, that the starseed is just operating on a different radio station. And something else kind of quirky that can happen when denser humans are around starseeds is the energy of the starseed can make humans actually feel uncomfortable. Starseeds can have an energy that is so strong that it's physically uncomfortable for other people. And this is something that I learned the hard way when one of my girlfriends who I had known for years, I noticed that every time she was around me, she would either have to move her chair back or she would take 2 steps away from me. And she didn't know she was doing this. It was completely unconscious. And one day I caught her doing it and we locked eyes and she realized what she was doing. And she goes, "I am so sorry, but your energy makes me dizzy." She's like, "I have to back up or else it's too much for me." And I had never heard anyone say this before, but I have had similar comments since then. And so even humans who are very intuitive, very open, may have this reaction to the energy of a starseed. Because something else that can happen with the energy of a starseed that can cause that feeling of separation that so many starseeds feel is that the energy of the starseed being so high vibrational, just compared to the typical energy on this planet, is that it will function to bring up any density someone is holding. So when a denser human is around you, your energy will bring up their limiting beliefs, any of their personal baggage, because your energy will force this to the surface in them. And so people don't know what is happening. They just know that they start to feel very competitive around you or very challenged around you, and they don't like it because it brings their stuff to the surface. And this can make people uncomfortable, understandably, around starseeds. So that is another reason that people can kind of hang back from starseeds, is because it forces them to confront their density. And most people will go to certain lengths to avoid doing that. So that is another big reason why we can have this perception as starseeds of not fitting in, of getting weird reactions from your average person. And again, as the guides like to tell us, a lot of this is energetic. But the good news is this is all changing as the vibration of the planet continues to get higher and higher. The guides have said people are going to be seeking out the energy of starseeds. It's going to start to feel good to them. So although this has been a big problem for a lot of starseeds, this is starting to go away. This will not be as much of an issue in the future. And it can just help us as starseeds to understand what is going on so that we can be a little more patient with some of the denser people. And I mean energetically denser, of course, some of the more grounded people that we interact with who may struggle in the energy of a starseed. So those are a couple of reasons why this can happen, and just understanding it can help us have a little more compassion for people who may be a little overwhelmed by the energy of a starseed and not really know what to make of it. So finally, one last thought. What can we do about this? If we have had one of these experiences that so many starseeds do of having very challenging relationships, what do we do with that? Now that we understand a little bit what some of the contributing factors might have been, the two most important things, if we have really had this as a struggle point in our life, is first of all to do our healing work around it. So what are the issues that come up as you think about those challenging family situations? And it can bring up some pretty dense stuff in us. A lot of starseeds have quite a lot of trauma around family difficulties. So doing our healing is always the first thing that we turn to in the intuitive community. And then the second thing is forgiveness, forgiving ourselves and forgiving the other person. Because as the guides like to say, forgiveness is never about the other person. Forgiveness is about letting yourself off the hook. Because a lot of times, without realizing it, we blame ourselves for what has happened to us. And when we forgive, we release the negative anchor that situation is holding. And when we do that, we let the negative situation go. We forgive ourselves for it. So that is always what the guides recommend for any of us who may be wondering, what do we do if we are one of the many who has had kind of a rough go in relationships or in the family arena. And in energy work, we always go back to healing and forgiving. So I hope this has helped you understand a little bit more why starseeds in particular may have challenges in the relationship department, and given you a little glimpse into how to move forward. I'll see you soon. Bye.